guys, welcome back to my channel. First off, right away, I'm just gonna apologize, it's been so long. I originally said in the last pregnancy update that I was probably gonna film either weekly or bi-weekly updates, and I've just come to the conclusion that YouTube, while I'm working full-time, is really hard to handle. And yeah, I don't know, life, being a mom, I have a toddler, being pregnant, amongst a bunch of other responsibilities, my YouTube sort of become a smaller priority, and I've been missing it. Like, it is a hobby of mine and I really enjoy doing it, and I want you guys to know that I am still invested in it, and I am planning on making lots of videos in the future. And I still have quite a few on the go right now, and I also am really looking forward to being off for the year on maternity leave and hoping that I'll be able to pick up vlogging again. I don't know, part of me is like maybe daily vlogs, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, so lots has happened. I've decided that it'd just be so much easier to just sort of sum up, like the last video I did was a first trimester update. And this one, now I'm currently 31 weeks pregnant. I'm into my third trimester. So I thought I'd make a video about all the things that happened during my second trimester. In the last video, I let you guys know that I had just found out I was diagnosed with gestational diabetes again. I also had it in my first pregnancy. That's been a big part of the second trimester. I have been going to a diabetes clinic in the hospital bi-weekly, and there I see a nurse and I see a dietitian and I see an it's really hard to pronounce, an endocrinologist, basically like a diabetes specialist, I'm so pregnant, a diabetes specialist doctor, like a doctor whose specialty is in diabetes, you get it. Anyways, so I see all three of them bi-weekly, and this pregnancy, the one big difference has been that I couldn't control my diabetes through diet and exercise. With Odin, I just had to eat properly and walk after my meals, and I could keep my numbers under control, and this time I had to take insulin injections. I was really bummed about that, but I've come to learn from the doctors explaining to me that, you know, I'm a little bit older, and it's a second pregnancy, and my weight was a little bit higher when I got pregnant this time, so all those things factor in, plus my genes. It just kind of happens, and it's really common for women in their second pregnancy with the second time around with gestational to have to take insulin even though they didn't the first time. And honestly, it didn't end up being that big of a deal. I found that giving myself the injections hurt way less than having to test my sugars all the time, and I was able to control it really well, and I don't have to test my sugars constantly all the time anymore. So I check it every day in the morning and every time before I take my insulin, and other than that, just 3 days during the week I test all day long. So I get to take a break and my fingers get to relax a little bit. If you're wondering what that is, that's my Snoogle. Any of you that have been pregnant before probably know what a Snoogle is. It's basically a pregnancy pillow featured in the background of my video. So yeah, I want to make, let me know in the comments. I feel like it would be really cool to make a video just about how I manage my gestational diabetes, maybe doing like what I eat in a day to manage gestational diabetes, and like just sort of what my day looks like, because basically my day does revolve around my diabetes. It is really annoying, and I'm looking forward to not having to do this anymore. With Odin, my diabetes went away immediately after he was born, and my doctors are really confident that the same thing will happen again this time. It's just, yeah, I have to plan all my meals around when I can take a walk, or like for breakfast, I know that, you know, I'm gonna walk to work after and stuff like that, because I have to get in some exercise to keep my numbers under control, and I have to plan my meals, I have to eat every few hours, etc., etc. It's a lot that's involved, actually. It's pretty easy once you get the hang of it, but it is a lot, so I'm wondering, I'm pretty sure it'd be a good idea to make a whole video about it, so I think I will. Other than that, you know, all the first trimester symptoms pretty much went away. The fatigue and the like little bit of nausea I had, things like that went away. I haven't really had any cramping. It's been pretty easy going, just growing baby. Obviously a big update will be the gender reveal, and I did film that. I had a really small little party just with family, and I did like a cake reveal, so I'm gonna insert that clip right now.
Gotta cut the piece out.
Okay, we gotta cut it.
We're gonna have to cut the wedge.
Okay, we're gonna cut it again. Push, 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 push this door. Okay, now we're gonna turn the knife like that.
And out it comes.
Slide. You guys dreading the anticipation here?
I think it's blue.
Just do it.
Oh, we gotta pull it out. Oh,
It's not coming out.
it's stuck.
It's pink.
It's pink.
Oh my god.
It's a girl. It's a girl.
Kenny
Okay, you gotta
said
let go of the
different.
knife.
I told you.
Okay, big bite. Big bite.
Well, that's Odin's piece. Yay! So it's a girl. Oh my god, you should have seen me. Like, they wouldn't tell me in the ultrasound. With Odin, they told us at the ultrasound. We found out right away. This time they wouldn't. I had to find out from my doctor. Fortunately, she called me the next day and just told me over the phone right away. So I was alone when I found out. I was walking to work and I was in such disbelief because I really convinced myself that it was a boy. I wanted a girl. Like, a girl would be so cute and fun to have, but I don't know, with Odin I just like found such a love for having a little boy, and I felt like maybe I'm just gonna be the mom of boys, and that's what I'm comfortable with and know and am familiar with. So I convinced myself it was a boy. So when I found out it was a girl, I was in complete shock, and obviously really excited. It's gonna be a lot of fun to sort of experience all the new things that come with having a little girl. And then another thing is, I just found out recently in the last couple weeks that my umbilical cord has 2 vessels in it, and it's a rare sort of anomaly that can happen to some women. I've found 1 to 1.5% of pregnancies this happens to. I originally was sent in for an ultrasound just to check the size of baby because I was measuring my belly a little bit large. I'd been sick. I actually spent the night in the hospital. I'd had a little bit of contractions, and they just wanted to make sure that everything was okay. So I went there for that, and then as a result I found out that everything was fine that they were checking for, but that also they noticed that the umbilical cord had 2 vessels. So in regular pregnancies, an umbilical cord has 3 vessels. One's carrying to the baby and 2 carry waste away from the baby, and then your body digests it out, etc. And so for these rare anomalies where you just have 2, one's going one way and one's going the other. And you know, I was kind of shocked when I found out about that. I was like, ooh, it seems like a big deal. But the more and more I've been researching it, the more I'm finding most moms that I can talk to that have experienced it have had no complications from it. And the only thing they say that can happen is sometimes the babies are a little bit smaller because there's a little bit reduced blood flow to the baby and back. But most of the people I've met or have talked to that they've experienced this have been telling me that they actually had 8 to 10 pound babies and etc. It wasn't that big of a deal. So I'm trying not to get too focused on all of that and just stay positive and, you know, go with the flow and keep doing what I've been doing, right? But the other thing that's been weighing on me a lot is my doctor's been sort of on me about figuring out if my goal is to have a VBAC or to elect to have a C-section. Now, in the last video you heard me say, well, I'm just gonna go for a VBAC and see what happens. You know, I was very nonchalant about it, and that's been my attitude this whole pregnancy and with my first. I didn't have a birth plan with my first. I thought it was senseless. I thought, you know, nothing goes according to plan. From every mom that I've spoken to about your labor and delivery, I might as well just go with the flow and see what happens. Obviously, my goal is to do things a little more naturally if I can, or etc. for, you know, the best outcome, but you know, I'm not going to be like super disappointed if I end up with a C-section, etc. So my doctors, though, have been more, they're not so easygoing like that. Like, they want me to have a plan. They want me to know if my goal is to have a VBAC so that they can support that, or if I'm electing for a C-section, they need to plan that well in advance. So I was sort of like, kept saying, I want to wait, because I'm trying to figure out how big this baby's going to be. Odin was almost 10 pounds, and, you know, if I knew I was going to be having this very large baby again, that might help me make my decision, and nothing's helped me make my decision at all now, especially with the cord issue. My feeling is that she might be small, so maybe I have a higher chance for a VBAC delivery. But my doctor said, well, that's true, but it could also be that the stress from the labor and the limited blood supply could become an emergency situation. And I'm like, every time I find one thing, there's another side to it. There's been no clear thing to guide me in a direction. My doctor did sit me down and sort of sternly explain to me at my last appointment that with all of my all of my factors, it was the doctor that delivered Odin as well, so he was familiar with why I needed a C-section last time. That he's giving me a 30% chance of a successful VBAC. So, you know, my family, my friends, my doctors, they're all saying I should elect to have a C-section. And for some reason, for me, I just feel like maybe I'm gonna be less of a woman if I choose to have a C-section, if I don't at least try to labor and deliver, that I'm like failing in some way for my womanhood, and like people are gonna judge me for that, etc., etc. This is what's been going on in my mind, but I can't help it, that's the way that I feel. And now with the cord, because of the 2-vessel cord, I do need to go for more ultrasounds to just check to make sure she is growing at a regular rate, and that the blood flow isn't an issue. But yeah, they really want me to make my decision by my next appointment, which is before my next ultrasound. So I'm not sure. I'm still, my hands are up in the air. So the next time I give you guys an update, hopefully maybe I'll have made some sort of decision around that. I mean, the other part of me is just like, hey man, the baby's gonna come out some way, one way or another, right? Like, I don't really need to make a decision. Like, the baby will come out. So, you know, I don't know. I'm really, really quite confused about the whole thing. So, yeah, I think that's everything I can update you guys on. I will give you a little bit of a belly shot. So there's the vein, definitely much larger than the last video. So 31 weeks, I want to insert a photo here of me with Odin at around the same time and see, do like a comparison. But yeah, that's me at 31 weeks. For the whole pregnancy, I've gained about 5 pounds, and that's because I've been managing the diabetes since I was about 15 weeks pregnant. So, you know, a huge portion of the pregnancy I've been on a really well, like, planned eating and food regime. So that's got to do with why my weight's been well maintained, and also remember I was overweight when I got pregnant, so it's good for me to be maintaining and not gaining too much. But my doctors do think I will continue to probably gain a little bit more weight because third trimester. So we'll see how that all goes. I don't have much of a haul or anything to show you guys. Like I said in my last video, I've been pretty reserved about things because I kept a lot of Odin's clothes, and I did go through it all recently, so I have like all of my baby things ready for her, and her swing and her bassinet and her bouncy chair. All of it is all set up and ready. And yeah, so I hope you guys are happy that I made an update, and I hope I didn't disappoint too many of you by not doing the weekly and bi-weekly ones. And yeah, so I'm gonna do the gestational diabetes video, probably of what I eat in a day, and I also have like a Odin updates video of all these clips I've been saving up of him, and I definitely want to get that out for you guys really soon. So thanks for watching. Please give it a thumbs up. I love you guys. Bye.
Bubbles.